Hey, it's Tony with lidl.doodle. Thanks for stopping by my channel. It is back to school season. I am back into meetings next week and then we start school the following week. So I thought I would comb through my lesser expensive fountain pens and pick 10 that are under $100 that I think if you are a brand new fountain pen user or you just want to add something to freshen up your collection for back to school, or if you have a recent high school graduate who's heading off to college, or you have somebody who's maybe entering high school, let's pen-able these guys, right? I love when my students are curious about my fountain pens. I had one student who brought me a fountain pen that he had received for Christmas, and I helped him ink it up, and it was real fun. So anyway, I've got 10, maybe 11 pens that I am going to show you. So let's get started. The first one, I'm going to go from least expensive to most expensive in this $100 range, okay? And again, there's plenty of pens out there in the world to choose from. This is just from my collection. So the first one I have is the Jinhao Shark. This is a pretty well-known, fun pen. You can get these on Amazon. They have them in all kinds of colors. I don't currently have this inked up, so when I go to do a writing sample for all of these, I will just dip this. But their nibs are tiny, teeny tiny. And so that kind of makes it not one that I grab if I'm looking for a cheap one. But I do take this to school from time to time, and I will let my students play around with it. I feel like these are in the under $10 range, if I remember correctly. This color, I don't know if it was like an exclusive for Goulet pens or if somebody specific just had this one, I can't remember. But I'll put a link to all of these pens so you can take a look. But this one's just fun. It's kind of novel with the little shark head, and I love sharks, so I had to have this one. Okay, the next on the list, again, a pretty common suggestion for a beginner pen, is the Pilot Preppy. And the Pilot Preppy, I think, is around $10 to $12. I could be a little off. I know this one, though, I purchased this one at the San Francisco Pen Show last year, and it was, I think, closer to $20 because it has the little artwork on it. And so there are some preppies out there right now that have some super fun art, and this is kind of a glitter, it has a little texture. This is a 0.03, so with the preppies they go, I think, 0.03, 0.05. So maybe fine and extra fine. And again, it could, maybe they have like a 0.12, I'm not sure. But anyway, I have this in a 0.3, and I do believe I have this inked up. I actually I write with this quite a bit. This is a great one for like, I need to make a quick list, or just need to make sure I have a pen in my purse or whatnot. So I have that one with me often. The next suggestion is the Kaweco Sport. This is just the standard plastic Kaweco Sport. I remembered that this was actually the first Kaweco I ever bought. I'm not sure why I bought this one. I bought it in a fine, which is unusual for me. Maybe this was all they had. It's got a cartridge converter, and I don't have it inked up right now. I will show you, I have an AL Kaweco in this list as well, and I will show you the cartridge converter there. I don't use this pen very often, I will be honest. I think it's great for an entry level. The price is, about $23 to $30 I've seen all over the place. They've got tons of colors. They do different collaborations with different retailers. Goldspot had this really cute, but I don't know if it was called Sea Breeze or something like that, kind of summery, that was, I think, in this price range. So it's a good little pocket pen. And, you know, it's small. If you post, it's still small. Doesn't get back weighted or anything because this plastic is very, very light. But we'll do a little writing sample in a little bit. Okay, the next one, I don't think I've ever talked about this pen. This is the Sailor Compass. And we decided to eyedropper these. I would not suggest that because then it was leaking and I had to put some super glue or something down there. So, you know, I mean, aesthetically, this pen is kind of jacked up, but it actually is a really good writer. And I'll show you the fun thing. This is what I like most about this. And it's kind of like the cap is a little messy. Is underneath the nib in the feed, the ink pulls up there, and so you can just kind of see it, and it just gives it, I just like the look of that. So that's kind of fun. Oh, and it's inky. But I do like this pen, and the price point is about $25. So for, you know, a demonstrator, I like demonstrators, so you can see the ink swirling around. I think Sailor is a great ink, or a great pen, and I don't want to say, oh, you can't go wrong with Sailors, because maybe you can. I don't know, but I do like the Compass, and I think at $25, I think it's a pretty good deal. All right, next on the list. Now this is a pen that I get a little cranky that people sleep on this. So if you have, along with me, the Diplomat Magnum, would you let me know? Because I don't hear enough about these pens in the community. I absolutely love them. They're light, they're plastic, they have a really super fun bouncy nib. They have some fun colors. This is a broad. This is kind of this fun purple, blue. Oh, sorry, that's getting out of focus. And I had a white kind of pearly one, but I gifted that to a friend. And Doug has a red one, but I can't find it right now. So anyway, I'm gonna do a writing test with this. This one's inked up. The blue one is not. I cleaned it out and was gonna try to decide what color ink to put in that. Okay, so, oh, and if I didn't say, the Magnum is at the about 28 price point, $28. So, you know, now if you are ready to, you know, graduate from your Pilot Metropolitan or move up from your Pilot Preppy, I think this is a great next step. And it's still, I think, in the price that most people would be like, okay, if something happened to it, it's, you know, it's not a Mont Blanc, right? So, okay. Next one up is a Lamy Safari and a Lamy All-Star. So the Lamy Safari is plastic. It's about $27. Comes in a ton of colors. It is the same, you know, shape and same clip and everything as the All-Star, but the All-Star is aluminum and a little sturdier, a little heavier material. So this particular one is a medium, and it has a cartridge converter in here. Now, I have had in my mind to do a little video if Lamy and TWSBI had to do a little battle. I have thoughts about the Lamy, and I don't know that they're all that popular. I think it's a great starter pen. The All-Stars are 37 to 40-ish. They come out with new colors every year, new color combinations. I've seen in the last couple of years they're playing around with, like, you know, the outside is one color, the grip is another color, and the clip might be another color. So a lot of fun color combinations. But I will say my biggest beef with my Lamys is that they dry out really fast. And if I am not using it on a daily basis, it's done. And it's not even just one Lamy. Like I have plenty that I can attest that is a problem for me. But if you are looking for an everyday writer and you are committed to, you know, consistently using it, I really do I love the shape. I love the clip. There's something kind of just tactile about playing with this big clip. So again, 37 to 40. And for the plastic ones, 27. I've seen, I think 27, 29, somewhere around there. So a good little level up. And the next one I'm going to recommend is the TWSBI. This is just the standard Eco, and I love TWSBI personally. This one is, I think, in tight competition with the Lamy because they're at the same price point, right? So this one is $37-ish. They come in tons of different colors. Lamy or TWSBI puts out new colors every year, and you know, I'm a fan. I know some people have had issues because they'll crack up here, and I actually did have one crack, a 580, and I contacted TWSBI and they replaced it right away. And then funny story, actually, they replaced it. They gave me the barrel instead of the grip, and then I contacted them and I was like, hey, and then they just sent me the correct part without, you know, questions or hassle. So anyway, if I had to pick between a TWSBI and a Lamy, because that was the amount of money I was going to be spending, I would pick a TWSBI. I like the demonstrator. I like the piston fill. This is just kind of my jam. So anyway, if you are looking for, under $40, I think these two, in the $30 range, high $30, these two, I think, give you a lot of options for colors. Pretty standard nib sizes, and good writers. They're both good writers. This one just dries out too fast. Okay, the next one on my list. Now we're getting up into kind of the 50s. Now the most expensive pen I have here, I didn't even go up to 100 because I was running out. I was like, okay, I only wanted to do 10 pens. And then I ended up adding one more. So I was like, okay, I could be here all day. So I'm not going to do that to you. But the next one is a Monteverde. And I can't remember the specific model of this. I'll find it. I bought this at the California Pen Show, and I had a couple of other Monteverde pens that were like, okay, they're fine. They don't, like, they're not my favorite, but, and I kind of avoided this one because I felt like it looked too much like a TWSBI, and I don't know, I just kind of avoided it. But I picked this up at the pen show. This was $52, so now we're in the $50 range. One of the cool things I do like about this is if you can see this little black dot and then it lines up with this other black dot, that is how when you go to, I'm not going to do it so I don't want to push any ink through. When you go to fill it, piston fill it, you know that you're like back at the right spot. And then it kind of protects it from, accidentally getting twisted and, spurting up any ink. Oh, it's a twist and I was trying to pull. This is an Omniflex, and I really have grown to enjoy this pen. So much so that they released two more colors, a yellow and a brown. And you guys, I have had to stop myself from purchasing them because San Francisco is in 2 weeks. And I have been really good about no new pen days since the Pacific Pen Show. I haven't bought any pens this summer except at the show because I'm saving for San Francisco. But if they have the brown and the yellow in San Francisco, I might pick them up because I really do like these, and I really like the Omniflex nib for fun, not for daily writing and not for long writing sessions, but I'll do a writing sample and show you. Okay, so that was coming in at, again, $52. Okay, next up is the Pilot Prera. This is a little workhorse, and you can see it's messy. I'm going to tell you why. 2 words, Bay State Blue. This is my Bay State Blue pen. It will never have another ink in it. If you know, you know. And I got this in blue, and I said, I'm going to give this pen to Bay State Blue. and I've loved it. So when I need, a bold blue, I go to this pen. It's very small. It's, I like the size of it for, a throw in your bag. This is coming in at $64. They have, I think, pink and maybe green and maybe gray. I could be 100% wrong. But I will link it so you can see the colors. But I picked blue, and I just gave it up to Bay State. And if you know, you know. All right. Again, that was 64. Next up, I have shown this pen before. This is the Kaweco Student. I received this in a subscription box that I had done for a couple of months, and then just decided that it wasn't for me because I didn't get to pick out my stuff. Surprises are fun sometimes, but that was just not a surprise I wanted to keep paying for. But I did receive this pen, and I was quite surprised to start using it and actually find that I really liked it. It's got this kind of slick metal grip, which was questionable for me, but I like how it fits in my hand. I really like how it writes. I have it in a medium, so I was thankful that when they sent me this, they sent me the nib that I would probably have picked myself. I don't post it, but you can post it. And I feel for me, that turns into making it just too heavy on the back. This one, it retails between 60 and 70 is what I've seen it. I've seen it in, they do like almost maybe like a cream and then like a colored cap. I can't remember. I'll find the link, put it out there. But I'm happy with this, and I have it inked up. It's one that is on my desk, and I use it often. So I think, if you, let's say you already have a Lamy and you are ready to upgrade, I think that the Prera and the Student are nice choices if, that's your style. I also think that the Monteverde at 52 is a good choice as well. All right, finally, for our highest cost pen on the list is the Kaweco AL Sport. This was a collaboration with Goldspot. This color is called Very Perry. I don't know if it is still available with Goldspot, but I really enjoy this pen. I've showed this pen before, I think on my Pocket Pens video. This comes in at about $70. And for a pocket pen, I generally don't post, but if I'm playing around with the cap, if I'm not, I'll post it sometimes. But even posted, it's still small. I like this. I like the weight. I most love the texture of these. I have two of these with this kind of brushed feeling, and then I have the olivine, which is smooth, and I like that as well. But I do like this brushed. This is, let's see, I believe a broad. One of mine is a broad, one of them is a double broad. I think I only see one B there. And so this coming in at $70, it's a little bit more expensive. So if you are, a young person who's just starting out, maybe you don't jump right into this. Maybe you get your feel for, a TWSBI or a Lamy in that $30 range. And then when you feel like, yeah, this is going to be my thing, and you want to treat yourself, I think the Kawecos are awesome. I really like them. And it's funny because I bought Doug his first Kaweco, years ago, and he kind of squawked at it how small it was. He has more Kawecos than I do now. He uses them all the time. He loves them. So if you have a friend who you think might enjoy a pocket pen, or you want to penable them into liking pocket pens, I think this is a great one to start with for that price point. So, all right, we are going to get these guys lined up, and I'm going to just do a little writing sample with them. I may skip that one just because of the other Kaweco, but just can we take a moment to appreciate my lovely tiger pen holder here. I got this at the pen show in Portland. I can't remember the seller's name. I have it somewhere, but I feel like it's just cool. And I like to have it, I have it on my little side desk with some of my blingier pens, but for this purpose, just to line these guys all up. And then we'll put the Kaweco right up there, just so I can keep track of them. So let's get some paper and do some writing samples. Okay, I'm going to do these writing samples in my little Midori notebook that I've shown quite a few times. No need to do this in my ink journal. I am, for the pens that aren't inked up, I'm going to use my little inkwell that I have put some Birmingham Pen Co. Salamander. Oh, there we go. That's Salamander, and it's just kind of a dark, rich, bluish black, I think. But because I have so much of it, when I go to do, you know, a test like this or something, I don't want to use an ink that I only have a sample for. All right, so let's get this little Gin House Shark dipped and take a look. Oh, and just for the record, it does take a cartridge converter back there. I just don't have it filled up. Screw top. And you know, that tiny little nib, like that's just not really me. But you know, if it's you, great. This is a cheap little pen. You can try it out on, right? Oh, it did not grab much ink. My hands are a little bit shaky, you guys. I drank a huge iced tea this morning and coffee. And now I'm all jittery. Okay. So this may not have been the best time to do a writing video, but I had to do it when I could because we have a lovely young family who lives across the street from us, and they have two littles. It, like, undoubtedly, every single time I tell Doug, hey, I'm gonna go shoot a video, and I head upstairs, while I'm setting up, here they come out into their front yard to play. Today they were out there riding bikes, so there was a lot of screeching and celebrating for them riding their bikes. So I kind of have to do my videos when I can do them. All right, so that's the fine. Here is the preppy. What did I say? Okay, so this is the 0.3. And I keep this one inked up with just a pretty boring ink. And for a fine nib, I'm assuming this is the fine nib, I feel like it's got a pretty good line. And I can tell you that I will not write with this for a while. I'll pick it up and it'll be just fine. So it does have a cartridge, and I just shove a syringe down there and just fill it up with whatever color I have. I think it's either a really dark blue or a black, just kind of that blue-black, because that's the color of the barrel. All right, I'm going to skip the regular Kaweco because I will go to the AL later, and I will just go straight to the compass. And again, I'm not going to unscrew this one because it's eyedroppered. I don't recommend that. We just kind of went rogue and we were like, let's see what happens if. But this is a great writer. And what did I say I have this in? I can't even remember if that's a medium fine. So they must do kind of like in between. But I actually feel like that is a pretty thick line for it being a medium fine and being a sailor. You heard the little bit of feedback there. Not a big deal. I don't mind it. It's a good writer even after I haven't written with it for a while. Okay, so moving on to the Magnum. This looks like it has some ink left over in it, or it's still inked up, I can't tell. So I'm not gonna dip this into my inkwell. I will use this one because I know that this one is clean. Now, I'm gonna slow down. Look at the bounce. Okay, and that's a broad. So, I mean, it makes sense that it would be that thick, but I just love how bouncy that is. And you know, honestly, I mean, it's easier on, like, I'm even just finding as I'm writing these, like this was easier for me to write than this one. I just think that broad bouncy nibs can sometimes, for me, and my shaky hands today. Okay, the next one we're going to look at is our Lamy, and it is a medium. Okay, I have been happy that I currently have 2 Lamys inked up, and both of them I have been reaching for more often so that I don't have to break up with Lamy because it dries out. I have quite a few Lamys that I got really frustrated. I cleaned them all out and I stored them away and kind of threw a little pen fit. And then I said, okay, I'm just going to bring 2 out and I'm going to see if I can get them to just work with me. And they have. So I might introduce another one to the fold here. Okay, next up is our TWSBI. And this is, the color is Persian green, I think. And I believe I have Birmingham Penco Aqueduct in here, which I feel like is a really good match. I think this is a medium. No, maybe it's a broad. Yeah, I think it's a broad. And the one thing I will say, if I was going to do like a battle between Lamy and TWSBI, I do find that Lamy's nibs are more consistent. I have TWSBI nibs that are mediums that write like fines. I have fines that write like mediums. I have stubs that write like broads. I mean, it's been kind of an inconsistent journey for me with TWSBI nibs, but I forgive them because I like their pen so much. The next is our Monteverde. Oh, I wanted to pull that nib off again. Okay, so you guys, this is the Omniflex. So see if you can just, I'll try to position my hand so you can see what it's doing there. Isn't that pretty? I just really like that. I'm just gonna write Omniflex because I can't remember the model of this pen. And I have something like Blue Lightning or something in here. Fun. Something with, I thought it had shimmer in it, but oh yeah, it does have shimmer. Okay, now on to Bay State Blue, Pilot Pura. Just lives here. And if you are ever going to use Bay State Blue, you probably should just plan that that's the pen that you want to keep it. I mean, I know you can get stuff clean. Like if I wanted to clean this out, I'm sure I could. But we know about Bay State. Okay. So the nice thing about the Pereira, for me at least, I'm just realizing I haven't written with this for quite some time. Like I didn't even practice before I picked it up for the video. That's a medium. And it's just been sitting on my desk. Perfectly fine. It's got a cartridge converter in there. I'm not going to pull it all apart because I will end up having ink all over my hands inevitably. Next up, we've got the Kaweco Student. Nice grip like this. Oh, it's writing a little bit dry. And then finally our Kaweco AL Sport, one of my favorites, and this is in a broad. And it puts down some ink, you guys. If you want, let me grab my double broad and I will show you the difference. Okay, here is the double broad in Iguana is the color. And it's got a gold-plated nib. That is a lot of ink coming out of that guy. I only have one other double broad. It was in one of my Jonathan Brooks pens, and it got to be a little it's can be kind of overwhelming when you're trying to write, when it's just dumping ink. So anyway, that's the difference between the broad and the double broad on the Kaweco. And then I've got one more Kaweco right next to me that I didn't plan to show, but I'm going to see if it has what. Oh, here's a medium. So let's go. I'll just sneak it in here. I want you to see what a medium looks like. So you can see, there's the medium, there's the broad, there's the double broad. Not a huge variation, but depending on how you like your line. And again, these are coming in 70 something, depending on special edition or limited edition or whatnot. So anyway, I hope that gives you some ideas, either for yourself or for somebody else. I personally would love to see more of my high schoolers walking around with pilot preppies or gin house or whatnot, because I think analog is so important right now. I personally, in my English classes, I make my students handwrite everything. They have to journal in a journal that I give them, and then they have to handwrite all of their essays, all of their work, because, AI. And I've just caught too many, AI written papers. It's really not that hard to spot. And I always tell them, like, if we have to handwrite things, if I'm going to make you handwrite things, like, get a pen that you love. Anyway, so that's a lot of yapping. Hope that helps. I will put as many links in the description as I can. I know you guys, I'm not very good at that. Sometimes I forget. I get all excited to just hit publish and then I walk away. But I will try to remember to put all of these links in here. And if you have any questions, put them in the comments. I will try to answer them. And if you were wondering, yes, we have a new addition to our desk. Look at this guy really quick. It's my favorite. It's a knitted little kibby. And the filament is this super cool, all colors, depending on which way you go. So anyway, he came to hang out with us today. All right, if you're still sticking around, I appreciate it. And thanks for watching. I will see you in the next video.